Welcome back again in Turkey. We have some questions for you about Moca Network and Turkey and Turkish crypto ecosystem. So first of all, for those who don't know much about Moca Network, what do you guys do in the simplest terms?
Yeah, so Moca Network has two parts of the business. One part of that is the digital identity infrastructure, right? So we have two main products. One is Moca Chain that specializes in identity infrastructure. You can see that as very similar to how Ethereum is for validating DeFi and TradFi transactions. Moca Chain is the infrastructure to validate identity data verifications. So just imagine the whole world identity data would be verified on Moca Chain. Another product is AirKit, is an SDK to make it very simple to integrate and to interface with the chain. By embedding digital identity in existing consumer apps, they can cross-verify each other in a very privacy-preserved way. Another part of Moca Network, right, is Mocaverse. So Mocaverse is our NFT, as our IP, Moca ID, and we recently just announced as well we have a big controlling position in KuCats. So we'll be working very closely with KuCats and the team on the IP and distribution side. And there's a lot of exciting news on the KuCat side as well.
How do you keep your users safe, and how do your users know that they are safe when they're using their chain and building their identities on it?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, like the whole setup and the design and the development is building around privacy. So only the user can use their private key to encrypt the data. Besides the user, no one can actually decrypt the data or access the data. So, and all of the verification is based on zero knowledge proof, meaning that none of the raw data or the source data is actually being exposed for verification. One very good example is when you're trying to verify your age to buy something, you probably give your whole passport to the party. But then in the future, you don't need to even know the date of birth on your passport and able to verify if you're over 18 or not. A lot of the other use cases, such as your bank account balance, your credit card spending, and so on, everything is encrypted with the user private key. No one else can actually take it away from you. And the amazing thing is that all the data can be verifiable by many other apps as long as the user provides the permission for it. So I would say it's like a design from day one to keep privacy in the first priority. And also at the same time, in terms of compliance, like we work with local lawyers, regulators in different jurisdictions on it, like defining who is a data processor, who's a data controller, who's a data owner, and all this kind of stuff, and getting third-party legal opinion on the data privacy side of things. So like we're very serious about it in Turkey especially. We have engaged like, local lawyers as well to help us and work with us on that. We want to be compliant and we want to understand and get familiar with the law and regulations here.
What are your plans with the Turkish community in Moca Network and Mocaverse side?
With the Turkish community and the builders here, it's actually amazing because if you look at Turkey is one of the first to actually drive and pioneer a lot of technology from the government side as well. If you look at open banking API, actually like Turkey is very open to that, and they were very early on driving open banking API, healthcare data, and education data, and so on, right? And we see a lot of opportunities because people are already familiar with it, and the infrastructure and the ecosystem is already very familiar with it. So we're here to look for community, look for users, but then also at the same time looking for great builders. We do see a great fit for Turkish builders to actually build with us with our infrastructure.
What are you offering to the businesses that work with you in this digital identity thing and building their own businesses on your chain, like using your technology? What are you offering to them, and how are you being compliant to them as well?
Maybe we can focus on what problems we help them solve. One is, for example, when a lot of users being onboarded through ads or whatever, you cannot actually verify that user before that user come on board. You don't know who they are. You're just giving them a lot of bonuses and incentives, and a lot of people are actually farming for incentives, so you can actually verify that user beforehand. As more tokenized assets being on chain, and then like there's no way that there's no identity verification actually being verified on chain. For example, what if I send money to a North Korean or like a North Korea government? There's no way in the world that that would happen without digital identity verification. There's no winner in the digital identity space now. And if you look at the growth, the accelerated growth of tokenized assets and institutional coming on chain versus how fast digital identity is being adopted, you can definitely see there's a lot of delay there. So we believe we are the winner and the leader here, but we don't mind competition, because what competition means is like we actually grow this together and grow this pie, and moving the space forward is more important. There's a lot more use cases such as like advertising, ticketing, borrowing money, right? Like all those actually require identity verification. As an identity virtual machine, as I said, right? Like if you verify and validate all the identity data through our infrastructure, it would be growing interoperability and allowing the space to grow.